Lagos State Waste to Wealth Initiative represents a progressive response to the twin challenges of urban waste management and unemployment in Africa's most populous city. With over 20 million residents generating thousands of tons of waste daily, Lagos faces significant environmental pressures that demand innovative, sustainable solutions. Now, the Waste to Wealth initiative seeks not only to manage waste efficiently, but also convert it into economic value, create jobs, protect public health, and foster environment sustainability. At its core, the initiative emphasizes the reprocessing and recycling of waste materials, plastic, organic waste, paper, metals, and glass into usable products. Joining us for this conversation is Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Mr. Tokunbo Wahab. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show. It's quite our honor to have you on the show.
Pleasure to be here.
And before I go on, I'll say ekushe, like the Yorubas say. Well done for the fantastic job that you've been doing, because we have been talking about you a whole lot, you know, on the station, the great things you've been doing. So well done.
Thank you.
But I want to go straight into waste to wealth. You know, beautiful initiative. A lot of people are talking about it. We know that when it comes to debt, there are lots of people in Lagos. So, of course, we expect a lot of debt. And oftentimes people have come out to say, oh, Lagos is dirty, Lagos is smelling, this, that. But now we're coming up with this initiative and people are worrying, what is the longevity of this one? You know, because it's lofty, it's a beautiful idea, turn your waste into wealth. But how long do you think you will be able to sustain it?
It's the most sustainable path for the future for a mega city like Lagos. And let me put it in a context for you and for the viewers. Lagos generates between 13,000 and 14,000 tons of metric weight a day. That is humongous enough to cover what we have in the whole sub-region. But that is not even the challenge. The challenge is the decade-long practice of a linear waste system where you just pick and you dump your waste at the landfill. The thinking globally, and that is what this governor had plugged into. Waste must be seen as a resource. Okay. A resource for wealth, a resource for energy, or other stuff. Once you see it from that perspective, you can now start reducing the quantum of waste that ends up on your landfills. And I will tell you what we've done differently in the past few months. We made up our minds that we must start taking steps to practically and pragmatically tell our citizens, this is not the way to treat your waste. You take your waste, for instance, you segregate them, plastics that are recyclable, cardboard, ions, or whatever, and then you deliver them to the PSP operators. Yeah. Now, the PSP operators were products of a vision by the incumbent president, who was a governor emeritus in the state. And the structure covered the 377 wards of the state. That PSP operation now keys into a Lagos Waste Management Authority plan. They pick, they go to the TLS or to Olusosun to drop. If you're familiar with Olusosun in Ikeja or Solo Street at Igondo, you realize easily that this had outlived its usefulness for our state. But we can't just decommission. We must start a form of reorientation that will be sustainable to our own environment and our state as a mega city. So now we've had agreements. Consolidated the agreement by saying to different companies, I'll start with a manufacturing company in the country, Lafarge. Lafarge had an agreement with the state. They want our combustible waste because they are growing green. Yeah. And the waste will be used to power their machines. And that is already in place. That means we have reduced substantially the combustible waste that litters our system. Yeah. Then we moved to a company called Harvest Waste. Harvest Waste is a Dutch company backed by a Dutch government. And their is to take our waste and convert them into energy. And they ask of us, kindly assure us that we can get between 1,500 and 2,500 metric tons of waste a day to power the energy. And we've given them the site, they've done their feasibility study, and they're almost ramping up. But that is still not enough. We have 13,000 tons a day. Yeah. So we now entered a waste to wealth arrangement with a company from the sub-region. And what they had to do is take our waste, 4,000 to start with, municipal solid waste. Take it and convert it into wealth, stricto sensu, in the sense that you can have compost fertilizers, you can have recyclable plastic bins, and then we can start building that culture. And the roadmap is, once this starts operation fully, we start decommissioning those notorious landfills you have in the heart of the city. So what we are doing now statewide, where we're telling people, citizens, bring your waste, is to start that long-term sensitization and advocacy, where your citizens start to imbibe a different culture. And that is a culture of seeing waste as a resource.
As a resource.
Mm-hmm. Mental revolution is a gradual process.
It's totally gradual.
Yes, it is a gradual process, but it has to be effectively applied for it to spread a little bit faster than it ordinarily should. What you've just told us right now, it's such an eye-opener. And I'm already seeing a situation where we can come to Lagos and breathe fresh air on the streets. Or Jota, for example, that land that this had been a menace to those of us that have to ply that road every time. So let us look at it from the education side. You know, what you're doing is fantastic. The fact that you have signed contracts with some companies that are even looking for it. The other one says they need 15 to 20 metric tons, and we're generating 13. So you see, they are going to take almost everything. How grassroots is your information dissemination, how do I put it, system? What kind of system have you built for this information to get to the grassroots? Because the most illiterate Lagosian should understand what you're saying, what you're doing.
Thank you very much. You must have seen the video going viral.
Yes.
That happens virtually every other day, like a town crier kind of.
Yes.
Going around with their megaphones, community to community, reaching out to the ballers, to the obas, to the CDAs, to the CDCs. When we commence the pilot, we commence with Simpson TLS here on Lagos Island.
Okay.
And every Thursday, you don't want to believe or see the number of people that are bought into it, that come around on their own volition. Now, we are scaling up to other areas like Ijora, Oto, Orile, Bariga, Agege. And by 2026, we want to scale up to other parts of the state. Why are we doing it? We want it to grow organically in a way that our citizens own it. And once they own it, two things will happen. The number of waste that ends up in our landfills will reduce.
Will reduce, yes.
Two, they will start seeing it as a culture of, so this is not just a waste. I can get something out of this.
Exactly.
It's also a reward system.
Yes.
That's why it's trash for cash.
Okay.
It's a form of reorientation. And it's a subtle one that gives you a reward.
Okay.
You see, you mentioned that changing culture takes a while.
Yes.
Because those cultures were built over time. And if you think people willfully or willingly will drop habits that they've been used to, we're joking. So we want to start the subtle one of rewarding.
Okay.
And once that is ingrained in them, we can now start to say, you know what, if you misuse the waste, and maybe by dropping those waste in our drainage system, then we dangle the carrot. So it's a two-pronged approach.
Yes.
But the advocacy must keep going on.
Exactly.
That's also part of what I'm doing here today.
Yeah,
To say to Lagosians, it's a different trajectory. Let us own it. Let us start treating this state the way it should be treated. It's a mega city. You can't be behaving like a local rural boy.
Village man.
In the city.
Lagos.
In a mega city, yeah.
In a city
Yes.
that wants to welcome the world every time, not just in December, all year round. People look up to Lagos.
Yeah.
Yes.
Back in the day, I used to do Waste to Wealth program, and I can really attest to how much impact, opportunity it is for any country or any state to tap into the opportunities that are bound there, not just waste as you see it. He has a very interesting question, and I want to dig further on that question. We have people who are in the informal sector. All they see, some of them are beginning to, get into. So I'm trying to understand the kind of program you have in upskilling women, young girls, youth who have even gone to school, who are, graduates like us, to see the opportunity in waste to wealth, not just waste as we see it, but then there are areas that we need to do here. I mean, that we need to tap into, to get it up. So exactly what program do you have on the ground, for people like that to key into it?
Thank you very much. That's why I said it's community-based and community-owned. It's a partnership between LOMA, Lagos State Government, and those private sector practitioners. They are the ones that uptake the wealth from these products, and they use them in different ways.
By wealth, you mean the waste itself?
The waste itself.
But because what we are looking at is wealth, not waste.
Wealth. It's not waste. For me, as far as I say it, it's not waste. It used to be waste, but it's no more waste. It's a resource. And they are the ones they are the off-takers. And that's why we are growing it organically. They are the ones that actually pay for them. Loma just gives a platform. And as the state grows daily, because people come in daily to stay, we want to build that culture so whoever is coming in sees it that this is a different state than what I used to see. And then you can start comporting yourself in the right way. You don't just drive into Lagos because you're on the highway. You finish your bottle of water and you're straight out through the window. So that's what we're doing. And then as we upscale, the advocacy goes on. They take ownership and we take a backseat eventually.
All right. Mr. Tokumbo, these are fantastic initiatives. Like, Ibrahim, I'm telling you, I'm going to put all my waste and sell it now because I'm looking for money. At the end of the day, I will sell all my waste.
You've been keeping them for a long time.
I've been keeping a lot of it. And I love what you're doing with the town crier as well, because I saw that ad and I thought it was really beautiful because you're going grassroots. But of course, we cannot have you here without talking about the environment and also talking about flood. We know that you do a great job with making sure that all the gutters are decluttered and everything. But about some months or some weeks ago, we saw heavy rain. We still saw flood in Lekki. And everybody, the first thing they will say, where is Mr. Tokumbo Wahab? That's the first thing that we hear. In terms of flooding, how are we educating people when we talk about dumping in drainages? And quickly as well, I also want to add Kai to it as well, because I'm from Ghana. And in Ghana, when you throw something on the floor, you will come down, you will be arrested. And I don't know if we really implement that in Nigeria as well. I think we say we do it, but the Kai, are they really actually doing their duties?
Okay, thank you very much. Let me start with your first question. There was a major rain sometime in, is it August or September?
Yeah.
Major.
Yeah.
And the rain we projected for 7 days dropped within 3 hours.
Yeah.
Now, Lagos is a coastal state. In coastal states globally, once some elements are in place, sea level rise, heavy rainfall, and excessive heat, which are elements that have to do with climate change realities. You have what we call the lock-up. That means the storm water from your rain cannot discharge into the Atlantic or the river because the sea level is high. So it will hold back. And usually it's for a few hours, between 1 and 3 hours. And once that happens, you have flash flooding. And that was what we experienced around the Ikate area.
Especially Ikate and Lekki as well.
It was Ikate.
Yeah.
Now, let us flash back to Ikate used to be a swamp years back, decades back. Go and look at the Google footprint. It was a reclaimed, well-designed area. But it will not take away the fact that it's surrounded by the lagoon, by the Kota River, and then the Atlantic. Lagos shares 186 kilometers of its boundary with the Atlantic to the south. From that axis, you can have the Kota River cutting through Ikota, Aja, into the Lagos Lagoon on the other side. So once you have that kind of a rainfall, no matter the resilient infrastructure you had built over time, which is what this government had been doing in the past few years, the stormwater will not be able to discharge. And that takes me to what we are doing differently. We are ramping up infrastructural development. We are declogging the system. We've declogged about 667 kilometers statewide, secondary collectors. The different thing we've now done is to restore the right of way for our stormwater. People that are built willfully, without approvals, on the floodplain, on the wetland, because they seek to make commercial gains. We also say to them, we have to restore this floodplain. We have to remove those contraventions. And once we remove them, you realize that the stormwater, most often than not, will discharge with ease. We've tested this around System 1, Oduyalaro. We've done it around Ikota System 44A. We're doing it again around the main Ikota channel now, 44, 156, 157. And we've seen the ease. But that will also not take away flash flooding. Because when human elements now seek to exasperate the nature's cause, it's a recipe.
But what about Kai as well? Let's quickly touch on Kai.
Now, Kai is the enforcement leg of the ministry. And I'm glad you said you have it in Ghana. As we speak, Kai does have over 500 plus personnel statewide. That is not enough to man a state like Lagos. And graciously, the governor, deputy, and the executive council had approved the recruitment of 1,424 personnel Kai officials to add to what we have. So we can have enforcement.
But even with what we have, people are arguing that Kai are not really pulling their weight, even with what we have.
Now, with 22 million people growing daily, mega city, you can put the argument, it depends on how you say it. But I'll take the feedback and say that is why we are recruiting more people. With 500, how do you govern a state like Lagos, 500 personnel? Well, I can tell you they're doing a fantastic job. We adopted the Corps Marshal, a major, fantastic young man from Congo, and is now trying to push back and reform the agency to do what it was originally set up to do by the law.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go back to the waste to wealth program that you're handling. This idea needs massive infrastructural support. How well are we doing?
Thank you. For me, I shoot straight, and I'll tell you, are we where we should be? I'll tell you no. But we've left where we used to be.
Okay.
And I'll break it down. For this to succeed, the PSP operators must be in top notch. But most of them are struggling because things have gone haywire economically.
Yes.
And we are also trying to cap what they can charge the citizens. So we've had meetings with them, we've had engagements with them, and we've now come to a resolution. The governor met with them on Monday, this Monday, 5 days ago, and the outstanding issues were resolved. On the part of Loma also, the intervention needs to be ramped up. Now, the only way, and I repeat, the only way we can also put the infrastructure in place is to make it attractive for private investors.
Exactly.
Not government.
Yes.
All over the world, waste management is a major challenge. Weeks back, Council of Birmingham in the UK was broken because the collectors, the council operators were not agreeing, and everywhere was littered by waste. And it took a while to resolve it because it's a matter of we want to charge more. We want to do much more, but at what expense? Who takes the bill?
That's right.
And so that narrative had taken place in Lagos because we capped before the deregulation what they could charge. So which meant we have to intervene. And at what point we now allow them also come up a bit. So they don't put too much burden on the citizens. So that conversation was had with the governor on Monday, and we resolved them, and then we're now moving forward.
Right.
And also, we've also told them the bridging funds will be made applicable to those who are ready to go beyond just Olusosun and Solo Street. Because we've opened up 2 new landfills, one around Badagry, one around Epe. So we can start walking the talk by decommissioning those 2.
Mr. Wahab, if you actually looking at what you do, especially on Twitter, you're always engaging, people on Twitter, giving out information. But many Lagosians are saying that the Waste to Wealth campaign is more media hype than the material change. Overflowing bins and indiscriminate dump sites. Discriminate dumping of refuse and all of that. Even Loma sometimes, back in the day, I don't know how it is now. They didn't come over to pack all the waste for a long time. No, I'm actually heading somewhere. So because that actually generated a whole lot of problem. And looking at the squatters and people who are occupying some places like the Oworon Shoki, that led to a lot of Buhaha, etc. I want you to quickly touch on, all this very quickly.
I answered. I said there's a challenge in the system. We have PSP operators around the wards of the state, 377. Some of them are even more because of the size of those areas. I said they are challenged. I mentioned it. I said they are challenged. It goes beyond their trucks. It's about the economic challenges too. Most of those trucks, most of those compactors are old. What the state had done in the past 3 years was to intervene through Loma. Loma now should be a regulator. But now Loma is doing the work of an interventionist agency. By using his own 115 trucks or thereabout to cut away those waste where those PSP operators were not able to go and pick them up. This is why, for me, I engage a lot. I'll say, where is the location of this? And I send it up to Loma MD, and then they go pick them up. Instead of trying to argue, where is the PSP operator? Why have you not done this in the past 2 days? The first thing you have to do is cut away the waste.
Cut away the waste first,
And then you can now come and engage them. And that's what we've been doing. Now, for our people also, in fairness to them, there are 2 arguments here. We are saying you can't put your waste on the median. But how many of them are ready to pay for the waste they are generating? All over the world, you pay for your waste. That is standard. The rate of compliance is low. That's why we as a state, we are doing what we have to do, using taxpayers' money to intervene. But it's not enough. It's not sustainable. You must imbibe the habit of paying for your waste. How do you justify somebody wakes up 4 a.m.? Take your waste from your home.
Sorry, that because of our time, Maria is still going to come in. That answers that. The dislodging of squatters, shanties, very quickly.
I took an unscheduled inspection visit to the under bridge of Maryland, the new bridge, Maryland Minde Bridge, and I was heartbroken. What I saw under the bridge was heart-wrenching for me as a person. And we had to dislodge them. That is the story. This is the video. That is the story of what we contend with as Lagos State. The state is growing daily. And all we are saying to them is, if you have no business coming to the state, why must you come and now occupy under a bridge? We must be ready to have this very hard and difficult conversation. Several people coming here having no business. We can't even account for them. We have a last round. Say, okay, let us register whoever comes to the state. So we can account for you and provide infrastructure. But they rather go and hang under the bridge.
Sometimes a lot of people come to Lagos for greener pastures, and this is not me standing in for the people.
Lagos
but people come. I came to Lagos. Lagos is my America. A lot of people want to come to Lagos to hustle, so they have dreams, and when they come, they don't have where to go. We are talking about housing deficit as well. But I'm going to come to this question because a lot of people have also criticized you. I'm going to go here, and they will be like, you're decluttering shanties, you're taking buildings down, but we're not giving these people where to live. They will come back there again because at the end of the day, we're not giving them some place to live. I know that these are very difficult conversations, but at some point, we'll have to have them.
I'm not the one studying shanties. It's urban renewal. But I can defend what they are doing because I'm in the same government with them. Before those places were dislodged, were they served notices? And I'm going to speak to what happened at Orosho. Were they served notices? They were. They were served notices through the years. And they were told, we have to regenerate this place. If you have your title, if you have your document, come forward. As at 2 weeks ago, they were still paying them compensation. Government paying compensation.
Some said they didn't get.
Exactly. A lot of people said they didn't get as well. A lot of people also said that it was the landlords that were getting, and many of them didn't get.
Who do I pay compensation to? Is it tenant or the landlord? It's a law thing. The question is, were they being paid compensations?
Yeah.
They were. If they were being paid compensations, then what's the hula baloo about? Now, to the issue of housing deficit, it's a matter of demand and supply. I agree. But which comes first? Is it the chicken or the egg? Do we say because we want housing surplusage, we now allow them take a run at the government, become lawless, now staying under the bridges built for public use? The day the backlash will come, you start blaming the government also for not doing the needful. And I don't subscribe to that. I believe strongly there must be consequences for bad behavior. People will go build on floodplains.
Exactly.
I'm coming. And they'll come back to tell us that we've done this, let it go. How about the overriding public interest?
But some will say they were not told. You know, we've had arguments. Some people will say they were not told.
Ignorance is not an excuse in the law. Under the law. Look, you built. The first question is, who approved it for you? You built on a wetland. Who approved it for you? And we said to you, remove. The first thing we do is we serve you notices. Without notices, we can't even come and remove your contravention. Whatever you have put on that plan, remove it. That is what logic says. But they are not used to consequences for bad behavior. And no development will come anywhere in the world. Leave the poetry of your campaigns or whatever, or the prose of whatever you have written as a program. If you cannot enforce your law, it becomes an obedient state.
Exactly, because oftentimes we do not hear about this. All we hear is that the place has been demolished.
Because
and then
people are very emotional with things like this. And there's a mistrust globally for government. But what we are asking ourselves is, how do we want to leave this state for generations to come?
Exactly.
You're building the best rail infrastructure in the country, the blue line, the red line. You're going to start the green line. And you're telling me you should fold your hands and let people destroy this infrastructure.
Of course not. Of course not. Mr. Tokumbo, thank you so much. Kushe, well done with everything you're doing. And we wish you all the best with the, waste to wealth. I'm going to be giving all my waste. All of us are going to give all the waste and make money. But thank you very much for joining us.